During the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, there existed a special variant of Assault Marines within the Blood Angels Legion known as the Dawnbreakers. Also referred to as the Dawnbreaker cohort, these elite Assault Marines would usually lead the tip of the spear. They would be at the front of a spearhead formation, and they would be normally seen wielding power spears, although it's said they've also used power swords, and would have wrist-mounted grenade launchers. Now, by the time of 40k, they don't exist anymore. There are no Dawnbreaker cohorts, because there's only the Vanguard veterans, you've got your jump pack intercessors, but if you want like special elite kind of jump pack wearing Marines, the closest you're going to get within the Blood Angels is the Sanguinary Guard. That was until today. Welcome back to There's Heresy, my 40k, and for this video I'm going to be painting a 40k version of the Dawnbreaker cohort. Very fitting because I am as most would know, I'm a Blood Angels fan. I have a Blood Angels army in 40k. Some of the first Blood Angels I painted were jump pack intercessors, so again, very fitting. I'm essentially painting a type of jump pack intercessor for this video, so I'm harkening back to my Blood Angels roots for this video. So yeah, Dawnbreaker cohort. What am I going to use for the mini? What am I going to use as the basis to make this 40k version of this 30k unit? So originally the plan was, well, I'll just use jump pack intercessors. Obviously, there we go. It's a type of jump pack intercessor, type of assault marine. So there we go, easy enough. However, it's a kit that is very commonly sold out. So it was just kind of a game of just like trying to find somewhere that had it available. And then also what I would have to figure out is, okay, helmet. It's not a standard looking like Marine helmet. It is eerily similar, like the Dawnbreaker helmets are eerily similar to Blade Guard veteran helmets, so it's like, okay, I'm going to buy the Blade Guard veteran kit, because I'm also going to use the Blade Guard veterans for a different video, so I'm not wasting money just buying a kit for helmets. Then, okay, next we have the spear. There's not a lot of spears in 40k, so it's like, okay, there's a few Stormcast Eternal kits that have spears as an option. I could buy one of those, but then it came to like the wrist-mounted weapon, because they use wrist-mounted grenade launchers, the Dawnbreakers, but there really isn't wrist-mounted grenade launchers in a lot of 40k minis. The closest you're going to get is like wrist-mounted bolters. Particularly with a lot of Grey Knights, so it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to buy a Grey Knight kit to get at least those, and I'll just figure out what I'm going to do with those Grey Knights for something else. Then I decided, hang on, I'm making this too complicated and also too expensive for myself. I'm buying 4 different kits for one model. There's got to be something easier for this, and there is. I could still keep the Blade Guard Veterans kit. Like I said, I'm using it for a different video and use those helmets. But I could also use my least favorite updated Blood Angels mini, the Sanguinary Guard. And I luckily got one for cheap. It comes with spears. It also comes with a wrist-mounted weapon. Sure, it's not a grenade launcher. It's a wrist-mounted bolter, I believe. But no, fitting for 40k, where they're not going to have as much as that tech that they had from like 10,000 years ago. So okay, they're not going to have grenade launchers anymore. The best they're going to do with wrist-mounted weapons are bolters or storm bolters. So, fitting, and it's still a wrist-mounted weapon, so it's still going to fit that aesthetic of spear in one hand and wrist-mounted weapon on the other arm. So there we go, Blade Guard veteran helmet on a Sanguinary Guard that is wielding a spear, using the spear option, not the blade option. Even though, like I said earlier, Dawnbreakers can also use power swords, but it's from the official image of the Dawnbreakers that you can buy for Heresy, they're only wielding spears. I don't know if there's swords as an option in those kits, but it's mainly a spear, and I'm going to be honest, I think the spear looks cooler on like a jump pack unit, so I'm just going to go with the spear. So with the model selected, I need to decide what paints I would use for this mini to make it look like a Dawnbreaker. So I primed everything in Grey Sear, and because I would be using a few contrast paints, starting off with for the majority of the body, so like chest, legs, arms, that would all be done with Bile Red, about at least 2 layers of Bile Red, and then highlighted with Fire Dragon Bright. Then for all of the black, any areas that would be black, so the wrist mounted bolter, the shoulder plates, the top half of the helmet, the webbing, like undersuit parts, the piping around like the rib area, the majority of the jump pack itself, any of those that needed to be black would be done with Black Legion contrast, and had a pot of Abaddon black on the side just in case I needed to touch some things up, and then highlighted with a neutral grey. Most of it really kind of been done on the jump pack, but there are some parts I highlighted as well. For all of the gold parts of the armor, so the bottom half of the helmet, the shoulder plate trim, the little belt buckle area, the left knee pad, and then part of the jump pack, primarily like the exhaust port looking things, and the wing symbols on the flaps, as well as the scabbard of the power spear. They would all be done with Retributor armor, shaded with Guilliman Flesh, laid back up with Retributor armor, and highlighted with Stormhost Silver. All the metallics, like on the weapon itself, on both the weapons themselves, they would be done with either Iron Warriors or Iron Hand Steel, and highlighted with Stormhost Silver. The loincloth on the model, I was going to use Morghast Bone. That's usually my go-to, because I kind of like that, the creamy color of like Morghast Bone, but going off, maybe it could just be the lighting, but going off the official like box art, like colors of the Dawnbreaker cohort, it's a very kind of like a paler creamy color, so I went with Wraithbone and then highlighted it with White Scar. But I did use Morghast Bone for the main base like pole of the spear, and then shaded that with Seraphim Sepia. The Purity Seal, Mephiston Red, and then Corax White for the actual like paper parts of the Purity Seal, and then highlighted with White Scar. Then any of the blood drop like icons, iconography for the Blood Angels on the mini, since they would have already been painted with Retributor armor, all I needed to do is just put a coat of Blood Angels Red contrast, and then a coat of Ard coat to give it that varnish, that shine to them. The pillar that the Sanguinary Guard that is jumping off from was a couple of coats of contrast Basilicanum Grey, then highlighted with the dry brush highlight with the neutral grey, and then the mounds of dirt were just done with Rhinox Hide. Now with all the paints selected, it was time to bring the Dawnbreakers back into the 41st Millennium. Now we come to the end of the video. I present to you my 40k version of a Dawnbreaker cohort. Ta-da! There he is in all of his glory. I don't know. Like I said, the Sanguinary Guard update, the current model, not my favorite like update to a Blood Angel mini, but it's so surprising how much, with like different colors on it and some slight different additions like the helmet, makes the model look a little bit better. But you know, overall, with the task of making a 40k version of a Dawnbreaker mini, just color scheme wise, I'm really satisfied. I really love how this turned out. Sure, it's not like the most perfect looking mini, but it's perfect to me, and that's all that matters. No, I'm really satisfied with how this mini turned out. And I technically have 2 more I need to paint, because, you know, the Sanguinary Guard comes in a set of 3. I do have the other 2 primed, but they're primed in a black because I literally ran out of grey after priming this one, so I'll prime the other, I'll paint the other 2 whenever I can. So I've got 3 Dawnbreaker themed Sanguinary Guards in my army, so now I've got 9. Now I have 9 Sanguinary Guards in my Blood Angels army. Like I said, they're my least favourite looking update to a Blood Angels mini, and I've got like 9 of them now. Mainly because I wanted 2 sets to make 1 set with power swords, 1 set with power spears, and now I've got an extra 3 to make them Dawnbreaker themed. But you know, I'm happy regardless. More Blood Angels for me, I guess. But that is it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But that is it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate you all watching these, and I will see you all in the next one. Catch ya.